So how do you get your protein?
That question.
Hey guys, what's up? I am with Jack McMillan from the Cleveland Vegfest and founder of the Cleveland Vegan Society. One of the founders, more?
Yeah, there were about 12 of us who initially founded it, and we're down to about 6 now on our board. We're all volunteers, so naturally our time is really short.
Yeah.
It's hard. We do this in our spare time. It's our avocation.
Who has time? No one has time anymore for anything. So the Vegfest is on May 7th, and where is it going to be located downtown?
Our 2016 Cleveland Vegfest is May 7th at the Cleveland Convention Center from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. It's going to be a really major event. The first 2 years, as you recall, Anthony, and by the way, thanks for having me on your show. First couple of years, we had it at Cleveland State University. We rented the whole student center. We just completely outgrew it. We had 3,000 people each year. We just busted it at the seams. So we took a year off last year to kind of regroup and find a larger venue. And we decided, let's go for the gusto. And we're going to have this at the Cleveland Convention Center to really bring the vegan message mainstream. So it's going to be a huge event all day. It's a free event. We do suggest a $5 donation at the door to help us pay for it. It's an expensive undertaking. All day long we have national speakers coming in from all over the country speaking on their expertise about all the things that veganism connects to, because it's not just a diet. Veganism goes to so many issues facing us today, from of course the animals and the ethic of the animals and the 60 billion land animals that we murder every year just for our taste for their flesh, but it also goes to world hunger. It goes to animal agriculture being the single greatest cause of climate change. Mm-hmm. We can get into that. I'd like to get into that later on, to talk about some of the facts about that. It goes to environmental destruction, degradation, rainforest destruction, certainly ocean depletion, because we pull out over 1 trillion fish from the ocean every year just to satisfy our craving. And in so doing, we're destroying our ocean, not just with climate change, but with ocean depletion.
Yes.
Huge trawlers, go through thousands of trawlers, just scour the bottom of the ocean every year just to bring up the marine life on the ocean floor. And it's like the water version of the ocean version of rainforest destruction and clear cutting of our rainforest. We're literally clear cutting our ocean floor, and it doesn't recover because it takes thousands of years for that ocean floor to reach its equal balance and biobalance, and we just destroy it.
And there's no way that it can even build back up because they just keep stripping it and stripping and stripping it. So there's no chance. It's even like with the human body. If you want to get better and you have to put good things into your body, you can't just eat a little bit of something good and then waste it away again by eating something bad. Same thing with everything. You have to continuously do good and continuously be sustainable.
You do.
With helping the planet. And
yes.
You can't just do we planted a tree today, but then go and eat a burger because you totally just ruined everything that you just did.
Exactly. So you get it, Anthony. There's so many connections that veganism relates to, not just diet. And certainly our health is very important, and it's much more healthy for us, a vegan diet. And our speakers will be talking on that as well at Vegfest. Food demos, and talking about nutrition aspects and the science behind it, behind a vegan diet. Continue on about the day. So we have our national speakers and local speakers. For example, Keith Allison, who's the regional director of the Passion Choices program. He's going to be speaking, and a number of other food demos and speakers, local speakers. Richard Oppenlander, for example, is coming in to speak on the environmental impacts of animal agriculture, and Dr. Richard Oppenlander is one of the main characters in the film Cowspiracy. Have you seen Cowspiracy?
I've seen Cowspiracy.
So it really lays out exactly what the impact of animal agriculture is on our climate. And the United Nations did a study, their own study, and their conservative estimate, animal agriculture contributes to over 18% of our greenhouse gases. That's greater than all the planes, cars, trucks, all forms of transportation in the world combined. Animal agriculture is more impactful than our entire transportation system. So we want to think about, I should drive a Prius and, fuel-efficient car. But just by switching to a plant-based diet, we can equal the impact of just not driving whatsoever. If we all stopped driving our cars, it still wouldn't equal the impact of animal agriculture. And that's just one of the environmental impacts. So Dr. Oppenlander will be speaking. We're going to be showing the film Cowspiracy. He's going to be giving a lecture, and we have a panel discussion with Dr. Oppenlander and Harold Brown, Farmer Brown, one of the main human characters in subjects in the film Peaceful Kingdom. And Anya Todd, a local nutritionist. So that's the speaker lineup, and then we have this huge vegan food court of I think about 38 vegan vendors or vegan
Oh my
friendly
God,
food
I'm
vendors.
so ready to go and get fat at this.
Oh, it's amazing. The spread, which is just blow you away. You know, with all the delectable vegan foods at our disposal, if we get off the meat and dairy, you know, which is brown, basically, you know, kind of boring food, you know, when you think about it.
It is so boring. I mean,
boring.
and you have to season it with plants. I'm like,
Right,
they're like, it's so limiting to be a vegan or vegetarian. I'm like, but I mean, if you want to look at the environmental aspects of it, they're like, oh, cut your showers back, cut your showers back.
Oh, that's a good one,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I'm like, I want to enjoy my long showers, but like when
Right.
you eat that burger or you eat that chicken or whatever, you're consuming so much more water than if you're just taking a long hot shower. And I'd rather take a long hot shower than eat a burger. So
well, that's an excellent point you brought up. You know, the water consumption alone, just that one small aspect. You say, you know, one burger, we can either stop taking a shower for 3 months, don't take a shower for 3 months, or, you know, or cut out one hamburger, because that's the equal amount of water that's wasted to produce one hamburger.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we've got our priorities upside down, and we have in society just doesn't want to pay attention to the elephant in the room.
No, they don't. They just want to keep keeping it quiet, or like you know, Unilever trying to silence Hampton Creek, or recently there's a YouTuber named Blogilates who's trying to go after vegan YouTubers and take their videos down, and she's funded by people who are in the meat and dairy industry. So it's like, you know, why are you trying to silence a movement that's doing good? Like, you can't silence things that are doing good because you're just going to get run over by it. I mean, there's so many people that are joining the momentum. It's just continuously a force that we're winning. I mean, like, McDonald's is going out of business. Like, Bob Evans is closing a bunch of stores.
Yes.
You tell them to offer alternatives, they don't. And, like, it's proven that through consumer demand.
I think that's what it comes down to. Consumer awareness, and then it translates into our habits, our living habits. Like you said, consumer demand, and when we stop supporting that industry, it will just disappear.
It will, yeah.
Continue on about our Vegfest Day, because it's a major event to help people educate themselves on all the different aspects of veganism. So it's an all-day event. It's going to be a very festive event. Besides our vegan food court, we have this huge, what we call our cruelty-free marketplace with over 80 cruelty-free vendors. We have a children's corner for children's activities. We have a vegan cafe with live music. We have local musicians, local vegan musicians. You know,
there are local vegan musicians.
There are. And they sing vegan songs with the vegan themes.
Oh no way! I need to Music Monday with them.
Jim Marconi, for example, he just has a wonderful voice, and he writes his own songs, and he's going to be singing them at the Vegfest and broadcasting from there, because he has a radio program called the Vegan Troubadour Show. Zach Friedoff, he plays wonderfully entertaining vegan themed music as well. And lastly, we're going to be showing films all day. Throughout the day, we're showing, I'll just run down it, we're showing The Witness, about the transformation of an individual who had no concept of animals, and then and his transformation into respecting animals, and then noticing or like just being aghast at treatment of animals, specifically trapping, lake-hold trapping of animals. It's a beautiful story. Peaceable Kingdom, which is a story of transformation. Farmers who used to raise animals, and then they started thinking about what they were doing, and then they transformed from raising animals for exploitation. Obviously it's exploitation of animals, to starting sanctuaries or becoming educators, and it's a beautiful story of transformation. And Harold Brown is one of the main non-human subjects in that film, and he's going to be presenting at Vegfest, and he's going to be on the panel as well for the film Cowspiracy. So that's our day. I don't think I've missed anything. It's just going to be a tremendously informative day. It's going to be a fun day. We invite everyone to come. We expect over 5,000 people.
Wow.
We had 3,000 the first 2 years, and now we're at the Cleveland Convention Center. What we want to do is make veganism, the message of veganism, mainstream.
Right.
Because it's becoming.
It is becoming, definitely.
And people are curious. We're trying to bring in speakers, and we want to educate people so that they can deepen their understanding of it and understand all the connections, as I pointed out. It's just going to be a really exciting day. And maybe next year we'll have it at the First Energy Stadium.
Yeah.
30,000 people.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
People keep messaging me on Facebook. They're just like, hey, you're going to the Vegfest in Cleveland. And
do they really?
Yeah, it's amazing. And these are people from like Buffalo and Toronto.
Really?
Yeah, they're coming like from all over to come into it. So it's so exciting, and I'll be there. So if anyone who watches my videos wants to come and meet me, then what are you most looking forward to for this event?
What I'm most looking forward to is just reaching out to the public and seeing 5, 6, 7, maybe 10,000 people show up to learn about veganism. We started the Cleveland Vegan Society in order to bring the message to the public. And bring all the issues, the critical issues that veganism relates to the public. So if we have 5,000 or 8,000 people, that's going to be a tremendous step forward for people of Northeast Ohio to embrace veganism, to see it as a movement whose time has come, because it is.
Yeah.
It's based on justice. It's an ethic of non-exploitation of animals, an ethic of respect for other beings, not just other humans, although that's part of it, because the connections are so strong. We grow all this food to feed farm animals and fatten them up so that we can slaughter them and then eat their flesh. And it's so wasteful of food resources. We have 800 million people in the world are starving or are food deprived. And it's because, as Gandhi said, that the cattle of the rich steal the bread of the poor. And that's exactly what happens. We grow all this food. 80% of the food we grow is fed to animals instead of people, and it's causing starvation around the world. And that's just one of the connections. There's so many other justice connections, clearly, to the animals. Because, who are we to enslave, commodify, and exploit our fellow beings just because we like the taste of their flesh? It just makes no sense.
It makes me sick just to even think about it. How can people even justify that? I mean, people, I think, view veganism as being, either like hippie or being liberal, but it's not a political agenda. It's not a political party, because once you think about it, if you look at it from like a libertarian standpoint or a Republican standpoint, they're very big on cutting taxes. They're very big on cutting healthcare costs. The one biggest problem in our country that's killing people is heart disease, and our healthcare costs are exceeding $1 trillion. We have so much money going into taxes that you're paying out for this. So if you don't want to support big government, your tax dollars are going to the USDA, they're going to the FDA. It doesn't matter like what political party you're in, you have to look at it from all aspects to my choices are directly affecting, my bottom line of my paycheck, because I'm paying more money into it. So
that's an excellent point. You're talking about health. People accuse us of pushing our values on them. It's my choice what I want to eat, but your choice affects other people. And as you pointed out, we're going broke as a society with healthcare costs. We're going bankrupt with how many $1 trillion worth of debt. I can't think, and tell me if you can think of something, I can't think of a single issue that has more impact. It is more immediately impactful of solving so many problems in our society than veganism is. I mean, we can change our light bulbs, to fluorescent light bulbs, but that's just, a drop in the bucket.
In vegan, I think, it doesn't even just technically mean the animals, it means the whole perspective of the planet, essentially, of what we're contributing to and producing and breeding and causing harm to these things. It's so hard to think that someone would actually want to cause harm to a living being, but there's people out there who do, and it's sad that they want to do that. Wake up. Like, why are you trying to hurt people on top of hurting animals? And just, that can't be good for your, mental state. How many, animals do you have to kill before you, are one step from going over the edge of doing it to a person?
Again, so beautifully articulated, because all things are connected, and when we're violent towards animals, we are violent towards people. We say we want a just society. Everybody says, I want a peaceful, just society, but then we go home to violence every single day on our plates. The solution to our justice issues really starts with ourselves. That's what grassroots really means. It doesn't mean trying to change your government and protest against this war or that war. I mean, those are good things, but then if we go home to violence, we're being hypocrites. And we do. 3 times a day, we go home to murdered animals and abuse, murdered, exploited, enslaved animals. This is where it starts, And imagine a world, Anthony, where we don't do that at all. If we have it in our hearts that it's wrong to exploit our fellow non-human beings, how could we possibly exploit our fellow humans? So, at least from my point of view, it starts from the bottom and goes up.
It does.
It doesn't start from the top down. When we talk about animal abuse and exploitation, it's not just factory farms, all the films we see. Because that whole humanely raised, humanely slaughtered terminology is just a myth. There's no such thing as humanely enslaving an animal for the purpose of serving our ends and slaughtering them
No.
and killing them at the end of in their prime, really, so that we can eat their flesh. So please don't think we can go and have grass-fed beef and humanely raised chickens. It's just false.
It is.
It might be slightly less horrific. In the case of eggs, we make them lay eggs so that we can seal their eggs instead of letting them have their eggs so that they can, hatch their hatchlings and raise their families.
Right. And even if the hens have eggs, it's the nutrients inside the egg are so much healthier for the hen that goes back into them. Like, they should be eating the eggs, not us. So how do you get your protein?
That question. Everybody throws that question at us. We're so sick of that question. And, the point is, and we have to say it for the 50,000th time, there's no protein deficiency in our country. The problem with animal consumers is that they have too much protein, and that's being pointed out.
Yeah.
Amongst the millions of vegans in this country and around the world, there's no protein deficiency. There's protein in everything. It's been propagandized on us by the meat and dairy industry. Well, they've pressured the government to inch up those so-called protein gram needs. And that's been dispelled. The science is out. We need far less protein than was previously considered as the norm. In fact, too much protein is what, and all plants have protein.
How do you think social media has helped with the animal rights movement? Because you've been doing it for a while.
Yes, we have. It's been a tremendous boost to us in terms of getting the word out. And you know yourself. I mean, you can go on Google. You can find anything and everything you want to find out about veganism. From the documentaries and the videos, exposing on factory farms the horrific mistreatment, to credible websites that talk about veganism and talk about diet and talk about all the issues that they're related to. You can learn all about vegan recipes. You can find out what the best vegan cookbooks are. So yeah, social media has been critical for us, and I think that's really a big part of why it's exploding onto the scene. It's just increasing at an exponential rate, the understanding of veganism. But for example, what you're doing here,
With the Vegfest, there's 5,000, 10,000 people coming to it. Those people could be vegan or they might not be vegan, but they could bring someone who isn't vegan. Or they could go home and share a picture on Instagram of like, hey, look at this great food that we're eating at Cleveland Vegfest.
Right.
And, that one person will see it, their 200 followers will see it, and all of a sudden, one by one, it just explodes. People are like, hey, this is really, really here. This is awesome. Like, I don't have to give anything up. I can simply just substitute cruelty for amazing food. Like, vegan food is like some of the cheapest stuff. Rice, beans, potatoes, veggies. Go to the produce section. It's summertime. Farmers markets are everywhere.
Right.
You can support your local farms. At Vegfest, you guys are having
cooking demos. All day long we have cooking demos to show just how easy it is. It's not real complicated. Certainly you could be a gourmet chef as a meat eater, a meat and dairy eater. You can be gourmet and spend hours in the kitchen. And likewise, as a vegan cook, you can spend hours in the kitchen, or you can do simple foods, fruit and vegetables, the whole rainbow of vegetables. We grew up that way, but now it's got a word on it called veganism, and people recoil against it when it's so simple. Did you like peanut butter sandwiches when you grew up? Peanut butter and jelly. Duh.
Living where we live, maple syrup is
the
place that's our main economy here is maple syrup. That's like the number one thing for vegans is maple syrup to replace honey. And when we were kids, that song, I like to eat apples and bananas, is not replaced with I like to eat eyeballs, intestines, and stomach lining.
Exactly. It's barbaric, isn't it? Doesn't it gross you out?
It grosses me out. I could talk to you all day about this because I love talking to you. It's just so informative, and
you're such a thoughtful person.
Oh, thank you. I was so happy that you were able to get on and do this with me. So how can people find out about Vegfest? It's on May 7th, on Saturday at the Cleveland Convention Center, but do you have any websites or are you on social media?
Yeah, come downtown May 7th at the Cleveland Convention Center, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. To learn more information, just go to our website, clevelandvegansociety.org. Our Twitter account is CleveVegFest, Cleveland Vegfest on Facebook, or Cleveland Vegan Society on Facebook. Use any of those methods to go and see just how exciting the day is going to be.
I'll be posting all the links in the description box below for the Vegfest, for their website, their Twitter, their Facebook. Check it out. Come down to Cleveland for the Vegfest. It's going to be really fun, and we have really awesome vegan restaurants. Come down to Cleveland and have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for watching, guys, and see you later. Bye. I'm gonna make him some cookies because he was so happy to do this video with me.